All right, let's talk about the Moscow Mule. You know the one. Spicy, super refreshing, and always served in that awesome-looking copper mug. But what you might not know is its absolutely wild origin story. It's a fantastic tale of marketing genius literally born from pure desperation.
Yeah, that quote pretty much nails it, doesn't it? When a Moscow Mule is made right, it is just so incredibly refreshing. It's that perfect combination of crisp, spicy, and tart that has kept it a favorite in bars for, over 80 years now.
Okay, so what is a Moscow Mule, really? Let's break this classic drink down and see what makes it tick.
At its heart, it's actually super simple. I mean, deceptively simple. We're talking 3 core ingredients: vodka, ginger beer, and lime. But, and this is a big but, the quality and the type of those ingredients you use, that is everything. And of course, there's that signature copper mug, which is way more than just for show.
Think of it like this. Each part has a really important job to do. The vodka provides that clean, smooth canvas. The ginger beer brings that essential spicy kick. Then, the fresh lime juice just cuts through it all with a bright, zesty tartness. And the copper mug, well, it's an amazing thermal conductor, which means it gets ice cold instantly and keeps your drink frosty right down to the very last sip.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's get to the fun part. Here's exactly how you can craft a perfect Moscow Mule right in your own kitchen.
So here are your building blocks. Take a look at those ratios. It's a simple 2-to-1 mix of ginger beer to vodka, with just a splash of fresh lime. Getting those measurements right is key, so a jigger is going to be your best friend. And you see that citrus juicer on the list? Trust me, we're about to get into why that little tool is a non-negotiable. Now listen up, because this is probably the most crucial tip I can give you. You must use ginger beer, not ginger ale. I can't stress this enough. Ginger ale is just mild and sweet, more like a soda. Ginger beer is actually brewed and fermented, which gives it that strong, spicy punch that is the Moscow Mule. Using ginger ale is like trying to make a margarita with lemonade. It just doesn't work.
And here it is, the step-by-step. This is what's called a build cocktail, which is just a fancy way of saying you make it right in the mug. No shakers, no extra mess, just fill that mug all the way up with ice, pour in your vodka and fresh lime juice, and then top it all off with that spicy ginger beer. All you need is a gentle stir. You want to combine everything without losing all that fantastic fizz. Garnish it and enjoy it right away.
So now you know how to make one. But the story of how it was invented is honestly even better. See, the Moscow Mule wasn't designed by some master mixologist. It was invented out of pure necessity by 3 people who were each trying to solve a huge business problem.
First up, we've got John Martin. It's the early 1940s, and he has the U.S. rights to Smirnoff vodka. The only problem? Americans didn't drink vodka. They were all about whiskey and gin. To them, vodka was some strange spirit from Russia, and Martin's warehouses were just packed with bottles nobody wanted.
At the exact same time, all the way over in Los Angeles, you have this pub owner, Jack Morgan. He was brewing his own ginger beer, which is cool, but he was making way more than his customers were actually drinking. So now he's stuck with a massive surplus of this spicy, fizzy stuff he can't get rid of. And that brings us to our third player, Sophie Berzinski. She was a Russian immigrant who came to America with thousands of solid copper mugs from her father's factory back home. She tried everything, going door to door to bars all across LA, but not a single person was interested.
And then in 1941, fate steps in. The 3 of them meet up, start complaining about their business woes, and then have this incredible stroke of genius. What if they combined their problems into a solution? So they mixed Martin's unwanted vodka with Morgan's excess ginger beer, added a squeeze of lime, and served it all in one of Berzinski's unsellable copper mugs. But a great product isn't enough, you have to market it. And this is where the story gets really clever. Martin bought one of the very first Polaroid cameras. He'd go from bar to bar, get the bartender to pose with a bottle of Smirnoff and a copper mug, and he'd snap 2 pictures. He gave one to the bartender, and he took the second photo to the next bar down the street to show them what their competitor was selling. It was a viral campaign before viral was even a thing, and it single-handedly launched vodka's popularity in America. So you know the recipe and you know the history. Let's move into our final section and cover a few pro tips so you can really perfect your technique. We'll just answer a couple of common questions.
This is probably the #1 question people ask. That copper mug is so iconic, but is it absolutely essential?
The short answer is no. You don't have to, but it really does make a difference. The metal takes on the cold of the drink, making the whole experience feel colder and more refreshing. But hey, don't let a lack of copper stop you. The drink will still be delicious in a standard highball glass.
Okay, another critical question, and this one is a little less forgiving. What about using that pre-squeezed lime juice from a bottle? On this, the answer is simple. Fresh is completely non-negotiable. Please, don't use the bottled stuff. It has preservatives and just lacks that vibrant, bright flavor you can only get from fresh squeezed lime. It's a small step that makes a world of difference, I promise.
And finally, while a simple lime wheel is the classic, don't be afraid to elevate your garnish. A sprig of fresh mint adds a wonderful aroma every time you take a sip. A little piece of candied ginger can really echo that spiciness from the ginger beer. It's a super easy way to add your own personal touch.
And in case you were curious, a standard Moscow Mule comes in at right around 195 calories. Though, of course, that can change a bit depending on how sweet your ginger beer is.
The Moscow Mule is just the perfect example of how creativity and circumstance can collide to make something that lasts forever. It really makes you wonder, right? What other great inventions, in the cocktail world or anywhere else, only exist because someone had a problem they just had to solve? Something to think about.